Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for hopping on today. I know you all have busy schedules, so we'll go ahead and get started. But I just wanted to introduce the team. I'm Julia Whipple, and I'm the Director of Marketing here at Blue Tent. But here with me today, we have Sean Kelly, who's our Senior Strategic Account Manager, and then Brynn Flaherty, who's the Director of Digital Marketing. And both Brynn and Sean have a ton of experience with owner acquisition campaigns, and I'm super excited to have them on board to present today. So we'll get started, but feel free to ask any questions. The questions are anonymous, so feel free to send over anything that you're curious about, and we'll try to attack them throughout the webinar, and if not, we can certainly address them after as well. So thanks again. And one thing to keep in mind is that these webinars are frequent. We have a webinar a month with Blue Tent, so keep an eye out for upcoming webinars. And with that, I'll pass it over to Brynn, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for attending. It's nice to see a big group of you guys online, and we hope everyone learns something and gets something out of this today. So today's topic is owner acquisition. The goal, more specifically, is going to be we're going to be talking about strategies to help you increase inventory, gaining quality properties and the ideal owners, and looking at a way that creates long-term sustainable growth for your business. This is an exciting, fun topic, and I think it's an important topic. It might not be something that we all, with our accounts, talk about every day. Oftentimes we're talking about driving revenue, driving conversions, increasing traffic, website enhancements, those kinds of things. But really, your properties, your rental inventory are pretty much the key to your business. And that's what sets you apart, whether you're known for having the most premier lakefront properties or a wide variety of pet-friendly properties. Or the most units in a certain condo complex. That's what sets you apart. Every vacation rental manager is going to have a different growth goal. We've worked with clients on every end of the spectrum, from 15 property startups that are looking to increase their inventory by 3-4 times that, to clients that have 500 properties and are very comfortable with the size that they're at, but they're always looking to bring on new exciting properties, and also keep in mind that you are going to lose properties from time to time. So there's a lot of reasons why we want to be looking at this as a strategy for long term. A couple of the points we're going to cover today, we're going to look at just briefly the type of sales collateral you should have when you're looking at driving this kind of strategy. Website assets that you want on your site to provide information about your services. The importance of owner testimonials. Going to look at some direct mail and print advertising ideas. Digital advertising, of course. Some email marketing and automation ideas, as well as networking and getting your brand out in the community. So Sean, take it from here.
Thanks, Brynn. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. So let's get right in here. How do we attract new owners? By presenting your brand and unique sales proposition in multiple moments, establish a consistent saturation of media channels so that we can capture the attention of owners during their moment of action. So that's how we attract new owners. A lot of stuff in there. A couple things before we move on to the next slide. I wanted to look at a couple things. The first question before we figure out how we attract new owners is why do we want to attract new owners? Well, new owners means more revenue for you, and like Brynn mentioned, or Brynn or Julia, the sustainable growth, and we want to keep growing at a good pace. I love it. I love it when my clients are at 100% occupancy. I hate the fact that we can be at 100% occupancy with more properties. So 100% is great. With 100 properties, 100% is even better if you have 200 properties. So that's our goal here. And the other thing I wanted to point out on this slide was the term brand. That your brand is what is going to be consistent, relevant throughout any marketing, whether it's to owners, to guests, to anything. Owners will check your brand. and having a solid brand that you monitor and you cultivate, not just through the eyes of a guest or a potential guest, but also through the eyes of the owner is essential. So I do want to make sure that we keep in mind throughout all of this, if we don't manage our brand, if we don't take care of our brand, then it doesn't necessarily matter how great your other stuff is. So for the next slide, sorry, Julie.
No, it's great. Sorry about our little furry friends outside.
Dogs are causing a ruckus outside the conference room here.
So yeah, we've got it broken up into a few moments here, moments of opportunity, I like to call them. And remember, just something to keep in mind here. These are moments of opportunity for you as a vacation rental manager. They're also an opportunity for your competition. So while we're looking at owner acquisition here, a whole nother webinar may be owner retention. But all these same terms will come up with owner retention. So keep that in mind. We've got the upset moments. Their current VRM, they dropped the ball. Maybe it was legit, an emergency or something that they didn't handle as well as they could have, or it was their neighbor went and visited their house, and it was the one day that the cleaning crew got sick. I mean, it but there are always those upset moments, and that's going to happen to every manager. But we want to make sure that if it happens to a manager and enough that their owners want to look around, that we're ready for it. The I want to know moments, and this can come from a lot of areas. As you guys probably know better than anyone, some owners are always wanting to know where the grass is greener, and so constantly on the lookout for a new engagement. This can also be if a change in ownership, for example, at a competitor's vacation rental competitor company. So the no moment.
Or maybe the family's getting older, kids are gone off to college,
Sure.
You're not using the house as much, and you want to look at possibly renting it out.
Yeah, family changes. The kids who have been waiting 40 years to be able to take over the house from mom and dad are finally getting the green light. Then buy and sell, and we'll get into this a little bit more later, but new to the market, obviously opportunity. They're not under contract with any other vacation rental management company, so let's make sure we're in front of them. Maybe if they're buying, that's one situation. If they're selling, maybe they're reinvesting and they're going to be getting a new home. Maybe they're selling and not having a whole lot of success. And like I said, we'll get into that a little later. And looking at other possibilities as far as their investment. Just in case I forget later, if you are a vacation rental management company that has a real estate sales branch, and anything with a listing selling broker here, man, that's just low hanging fruit. You got to be talking with the sales team. So I just want to make sure it's worth repeating later if I don't forget, but I want to make sure we said that at least once, that is a huge opportunity for everybody. And then overwhelmed, these are the people that are doing it themselves. Maybe they're doing it through VRBO, HomeAway, so on and so forth. Or maybe they just feel like they're doing it themselves because they're getting poor service. So obviously we want to be ready for these moments at any time. So we've got the moments. We've got to be the right place, the right time, and the right message. And we need to obviously tailor our message accordingly. So a couple questions, obviously. Where are your owners consuming their media, or potential owners, I should say? Are they consuming it on their own, or do we need to get it in front of them? We'll answer a couple couple ways to do both down the road here, but really important to have know your potential owners and know what kind of owner you want. Are you a luxury property, don't really want the lower end stuff, or are you an affordable family friendly property that appreciates the value of those vacations for that families can afford. So knowing where your who your owners are and where they are where they're consuming their media is huge. And when are they consuming it? Some areas have. Excuse me a second. Some areas do have, almost a couple months where it's the signing period. Certainly, we need to be in front of them about 3 months, and during that signing period, we need to be in front of them. That's when their decisions are being made, and we want to be front of mind.
And one other thing with like the right time right now, I think we talked about this when we were planning the webinar a little bit, but coming out of a busy summer, it's a great opportunity when owners are starting to think about changes for the next upcoming season. So keeping that in mind, certainly when the leasing, as Sean said, the leasing season is certainly important, but also thinking about the state in which a lot of owners in your area are going through right now. I mean, for the East Coast and actually the West Coast too, I know over Labor Day there were hurricanes, and so owners might at this particular moment be saying to themselves, "I wish I had a property manager who could have checked in on my asset." So this is a great opportunity, and hopefully, I think across the country, this follows usually a little bit of a quiet period, so it's a great opportunity to really get your strategy into place.
For sure. And if there was pain, it's front of mind for these owners right now. Whereas if we wait 6 months, whatever it may be, the pain didn't disappear or anything, but it might just be easier to sign on with their existing
front of mind
company
anymore.
Right. Exactly.
And then as far as the right message, one of the big things here that you guys that everybody probably hopefully knows is what is your unique sales proposition, and where are we know it and own it and be ready to help out. And with that, the 1 and 2, we've started to know which group you're talking to as well. If it's that DoItYourselfer group currently, and there's new local laws regarding the vacation rentals, hit them up, because they're going to be in a world of hurt if they don't do anything about it, and they may not even know about it and say, "Oh, geez, my job just got a lot harder. Let's let somebody else do it."
Right.
Okay. The U.S. Yeah.
Oh yeah. One other thing, just related to your sales proposition, is anyone. Sorry, I just want to get this in. But anyone who's taking calls from owners or potential owners needs to know it and be able to tailor it. That's best service, highest occupancy. Look, you got to have some of that stuff at your fingertips for that first initial contact. So,
right, that's a good point.
So what are some of those messages that I just kind of referred to? You are an asset manager for these owners. So our message is we've got a few messages here. We value your property an investment asset as your own. We are focused on ROI and increasing revenue for our owners. We respect your investment strategy. We have the resources from marketing to operations to create sustainable success, and we understand the market and have proven success and experience. Now, obviously, these are very broad message examples. But what are we really saying? We're saying we do it better than anybody else. We're as your asset manager in this case, we may not have to wear a suit every day. Some of us do, but we chose the beaches, the mountains, and whatnot over Wall Street. But we are asset managers for these owners. So we're going to give them the highest return we can for the least amount of effort on their part, and we want to be able to back this up with stats, whether, like I said, occupancy, revenue, so on and so forth. Owner testimonials are great. Awards, industry awards, obviously, and really be able to back up your message with hard data, so to speak.
We just actually got great input, and one that we don't have up here as a message example is really focusing on housekeeping and property care, and that's a really great subject to bring up, because I think when you think about the moments that Sean brought up a couple slides back, the 4 particular moments, being able to have a message that certainly positions your brand, but also speaks to those sentiments that the owners are going through at that particular time. And property care and housekeeping is a great example of when, an owner might just be frustrated by doing it themselves, or they may have had a frustrating experience with a competitor. So anything like that is very helpful for your message and relaying that at the right time, the right message in the right place.
Well, and I think even we've had sorry about my squeaky chair. We've had clients who responded particularly well to, you mentioned hurricanes earlier. Really responded very, very well, and would have other owners from other vacation rental companies following their blog, their Facebook posts, and that's that's huge. That's strengthening your brand. That's showing those intangibles that are hard to put on paper, but are out there. And if we can show those, it's going to strengthen that. And that's part of just maintaining that brand and that brand identity throughout.
And one of the points I wanted to touch on as well is, using how you market yourself to your advantage. I think, a lot of the people listening right now are current Blue Tent clients, are thinking about joining the Blue Tent team. If you're on one of our platforms, if you're working with any of our teams on a consistent basis, you already have an advantage. So use that in your marketing collateral and your sales collateral, going out to owners. Let them know you've got a cutting edge, high-performing website. Let them know that you run Google AdWords, that you focus on SEO, that you have content marketing, and that those properties, you're going to help those properties be more visible than maybe on the other property manager's website. So really own that. And I also like talking to my clients about bringing their unique value proposition to life. I've got one of my clients, Blackcomb Peaks, tells a great story about how they will literally bring kitchen appliances from their own homes to a guest's unit when they specifically request something. They mentioned a blender that they brought over to a unit, that it was a honeymooning couple. These are things that you might not be able to do for your guests if you're managing the property on your own. But if you've got a local property management company that's willing to do things at the drop of a hat, you want to let potential owners know that, because that just makes you even more valuable to their guests.
And it gets around.
People talk.
Your current owners are going to be your biggest fans. So, our best salespeople, I guess I should say. And this is kind of what Brynn was just talking on. When you've got the lead, you've got to be ready for it. You have just a few minutes to explain what you're going to do to make your owners money, make their life easier. So have that collateral ready. Have the stories ready. Have the the owner testimonials, and maybe even an owner they can call. Or a couple owners say, hey, yeah, call these guys. They've been with us for 10 years, or call these guys. They just joined last year. I think they're pretty happy so far. And really, testimonials, talk about, like Brynn said, talk about the website. And this is, like I mentioned earlier, the real estate sales branch. Real estate does a pretty good job with rental listing presentations. This is your rental listing presentation, and it should be treated as such. One of the big things I think maybe getting a little bit off topic on this slide, but I think one of the big things that we need to make sure we consider is the fact that we need to treat owner acquisition at a similar level to how we treat guest acquisition. Because without the owners, we're not going to need or have any guests.
And the one other thing I wanted to mention about this slide is we put sales collateral as one of the first strategy points, because a lot of times once you pull together your sales collateral, it makes the other initiatives a bit easier to implement. So that was kind of our sentiments on putting this first, and something to consider. I mean, it's a great opportunity this fall to pull together your sales collateral. That way everything else kind of is just easier to implement.
Great point. So we've identified our unique selling proposition. We've put together some marketing, sales collateral. The entire team knows what your selling point is. The next step really is to have a compelling landing page. You've got to have a page that you can be driving traffic to, and you're going to use a variety of channels to get people to these pages. So obviously, we're going to want to optimize the page for SEO as well. So we want to focus on key terms that do drive, some search volume for your area. But really we want to make it interactive and compelling. Even, including team photos of your office, photos of owners at a gathering, anything that kind of can draw people in and keep people on the page. If we want to, maybe can we pull up we've got a couple pages that we've built for clients as an example that we wanted to show. So Tahoe Getaways, obviously in Lake Tahoe. What I like about this page, and Julie, if you can click the more buttons under like trusted partner industry, they're a little hard to see.
Cool.
Yeah, so they identified their 4 key propositions. So they made it a nice concise page, but you can dig into each one of these and look at, how are they a trusted partner? What do they do for the community? What do they do for marketing? And how is that going to benefit you as an owner? So I really like that. And then any page that you're driving people to should have some sort of an inquiry form, a way for people to reach out. So this is kind of a unique way to do this, kind of out of the box outside the box for us. So we've got that nice call to action on the right that allows you to reach out, tell them your property address, and get more information, get in contact with Tahoe. And then Midget Realty, I think, did a great job with this too. This we created a couple of years ago for them, based around their proposition, which is go local. They've been on Hatteras Island for many, many years, and they are your local resource. So created an interactive page with this as well. And we drive traffic in a variety of ways to these pages. Also, when you're thinking about your on-site assets, we can go back to the slideshow here. Also think about when you're creating content, the content doesn't need to be just guest-based. Most of the time we're focusing on content that helps guests, but there's certainly tips and blog posts and topics that we can cover that will provide value to your current owners and prospective owners as well. Yeah,
I think that's a great point. It doesn't hurt the guests to have a owner's blog category.
Food for thought for them.
It's because some of these guests could become owners, and it's just good stuff. It shows that you're a professional company, and like I said, I mean it's if you get those other owners following you instead of their current vacation rental manager, then you're going to get them coming over to you at some point.
Mm-hmm. And just one last point on that, make sure this page is easy to be found or can be found easily. Obviously, we're going to talk about campaigns that we're going to use to drive people to this page. But the Blackcomb Peaks example, we even created in the footer a nice call to action that kind of stands out that says, are you interested in property management? Click here. So it doesn't always just have to be buried in the navigation or an internal link. Make it easy to be found. Okay, so next idea, or something to add to your toolkit is to have owner testimonials. And something to keep in mind is that this takes time to build up. You're not just going to send out an email campaign to your owners and get testimonials immediately. So it should be something that you always have in the back of your mind and you're always thinking about when you're engaging with those loyal owners that you've had, working with you for a long time. But let those be your advocates. They are the ones that know the ins and the outs of working with you the best. So let them tell your story as well. We've got a number of clients that have a page dedicated just to owner testimonials. And what's surprising is that these pages also have a very high page value. So that means that people that are actually making bookings are also viewing this owner testimonials page. So it's another way to instill trust in those users on your website. It shows that you're a reputable company, that you've got people that say that you're taking care of their property. If they're saying that, if I'm booking at one of your units, I'm going to feel better about that. So those pages are kind of multi-purpose, and they can definitely, testimonials can be integrated into this landing page as well, or it can be a separate page. And then let me, Julia, can we jump to the Smoky Mountains page just quickly? This is not a client of ours, but it's actually a website that we toss around here on the digital marketing team quite often. And they just do a really good job of marketing themselves and showing who they are. So at the top, we won't play it, but they've got a really great owner testimonial video. And I think that's a nice way to set yourself apart. Most of our clients have owner parties, owner appreciation parties once a year at the end of the season. Sit an owner down, get a camera out, ask them some questions and see how that works out. Or offer an owner's, special incentive if they're willing to do something like that. And here again, we've got, different value propositions. We have a very clear call to action about reaching out. And it's, again, just a very well thought out page. But I think, with owner testimonials, take it a step further and try creating videos with some of your best owners. I think it could be pretty compelling for your potential owners.
Yeah, that's great. And one thing I wanted to note about this page, Brynn, is that they are real people and they feel, really authentic. And when you watch the video, you'll probably get the same feeling. But, getting owners who can really tell your story, I think is super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
And Blue Tent, we are we focused a lot on the digital space. Part of the reason is we have a hard time tracking the success and of the print world. But there are times, and owners being one of them, that we need to jump in there. And so there are print is still relevant, as we will find out, because we don't have all these owners' emails addresses that we want. We need to get in front of them in other ways. There is a digital aspect to that, but one of the best ways we found is, again, I get at least a half dozen real estate postcards a week for a property in your neighborhood just sold. And I think it's worth getting in front of these owners, and with print materials and having your unique sales proposition should be on here. A couple examples here. We've got we saw the midget page, and you can see that go local carries through. Now we have a couple different targets here, and one was they won Midget Realty won a website award. So we need to talk about that. We need to say that we are leading the technology, leading on the cutting edge of technology. There's billions of dollars being booked online. I don't know. I think I was going to try to pull a hard number.
We just
750 million.
Billion.
On online bookings for vacations total, I think. So we want to let people know that hey, we're at the cutting edge there. Down below was more of a targeted to people who are doing their own thing, or to companies that may bury some of their owner expenses when you're putting up contracts side to side. So we want to have that message, have the theme at least be consistent throughout. If we can change we tweak the messaging on that landing page as well to go more with the print collateral, but we want to have the offline and online world connected. A couple of just quick notes here as far as tracking. We do have a unique phone number there, so we can track that. At one point, we had a QR code. Nobody uses the QR code.
You got a little on the wayside.
And then we do have the unique landing page, and so we've got some tracking ability there, and we can see the spikes when we do the sends as well. So how do we make this happen? You guys probably know this already, but county assessor generally has I think they're required to have actually all the mailing address for property owners. Do make sure you know the laws and regulations. You may, I know of some instances where you can't really target individual property owners. You have to hit the whole neighborhood if you're going to go. And then again, getting back to that time, know when it's most relevant. Start getting in front of them well before that, and maybe increase frequency closer to it. And particularly if you have the signing period, so to speak, like they do on the Outer Banks, and so I think that's all I had for that stuff.
And one other thing about timing, I know we have a couple of clients who are in the Northeast and certainly a lot in the mountains. But we're getting ready to enter winter, and it's a great opportunity to remind your owners that they could have someone professionally help them manage their property through the cold months, rather than trying to drive down from Boston to Cape Cod, for example, to shovel or anything like that. So just keep that in mind about timing and your message. I think it's really opportune time.
More print.
Did you want to?
So.
Yeah. Go ahead, Julie.
Go ahead.
So we just we added this slide, to talk a little bit about print advertising. There are a lot of opportunities on the local front to get your brand out there, and it's different for every market. We see here we have a scout guide, which is in a bunch of different locations, but every market has your unique print, and it also is dependent on your audience. So knowing your audience and knowing your market, you can really create some compelling print advertising. So really thinking about your ideal owners, what they're reading, and where they're looking for information is going to be important for your print campaigns. You can look at newspapers, local guides, local magazines. And then you can also place brochures in really opportune locations. I know here in our valley, the Aspen Airport has a great kiosk with all sorts of brochures. You might want to put something at your local airport. You might want to have something at your chamber. Certainly in real estate offices, that's a great opportunity to get your brochure out there. So just think about, where you can put print campaigns and print advertising is going to be helpful.
And it doesn't have to be specifically, owner marketing stuff. If you do your own things to do an Aspen guide that you use for your guests,
yeah.
That can be something you can get out there and have some owner marketing in there as well, obviously, but that it's going to be more likely to get picked up if it has some other hooks as well.
Great point. So Moving along to Facebook. Believe it or not, Facebook can be a great channel to get in front of some of those potential owners. Primarily, we typically look at retargeting on the Facebook front. So if you've got that great landing page built out on your website, you're driving traffic to it, set up a retargeting audience for people that have visited that page specifically and show them a targeted message that aligns, with that landing page, with that direct mail campaign, with every other campaign you're running, so that brand message and the consistency across the brand, continues to be seen on different channels. In this case, we did a nice one with Midget Realty. Our design and social team created a nice Facebook Canvas ad that looked just like the postcard that we created earlier. And, it's got a call to action at the end of the Canvas ad. They've got a clear place to inquire for more information. So that's a great way to get in front of those owners. Also, we'll talk about email marketing later, but for that inquiry form, if you are capturing those email addresses of anyone that signs up for or that fills out a property management inquiry form, we can create a segment for those email addresses, and we can target those people on Facebook as well with a custom audience. So that's a nice way to do that. And yeah, just make sure you've got a place for them to reach out for more information from those Facebook ads.
One thing I love about Facebook retargeting is that it's so easy to implement. I mean, exactly. Our team, we have a social media expert on staff who can certainly help you set it up. But it's really a great way to get out there. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
It is. And in this case, we don't typically say, we run set it and forget it type of campaigns. But in this case, you can do that. You're just going to keep gaining a bigger audience. If you just have that retargeting pixel on that page, it'll continue to target people that have viewed that page in, recent days. So just keep that running and keep gaining new leads from that source. And then, of course, we can't forget digital advertising. This isn't typically the highest ROI campaign that you're going to run. We're looking for leads. We're trying to, again, strengthen that brand message. But we do have clients running PPC campaigns targeting those property management terms. In some cases, you can even integrate your brand name into that campaign. So you're showing up for, in this case, Tahoe Getaways, but also property management terms. I would definitely recommend driving those ads to that dedicated landing page, or at the very least, you've got the site extensions below the ad. You could be including that property management page as one of the extensions. And then, of course, traditional retargeting. So again, showing those ads on the Google display network with a display ad that mirrors your other campaigns for this particular strategy. So we'll retarget people that are going to that property management page on the Google display network as well.
Yeah, and Brynn, you mentioned that it's not typically a high revenue outcome or direct performance I guess tracker, but
sure.
But the one thing to keep in mind is that if you're not doing digital advertising, your competitors are.
Yes.
So even if this is a great opportunity to just stand out above your competitors and really be there when your audience is looking for you.
Definitely, and potential owners, current owners, they are Googling you. They're looking up your name, your brand name, and they want to make sure that you're showing up. So sometimes it's kind of not an ego thing, but just satisfying those owners. But yeah, there's typically not a lot of search volume for these types of terms, but that's okay because it means you don't have to dedicate a lot of budget to this campaign. You can focus more budget on the revenue generating campaigns, but make sure you've got presence in this area. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into email marketing and automation. We actually had a great question from an attendee about setting up your CRM and being able to facilitate automation for an owner nurturing campaign with your CRM. So there's a lot you can do on this front. As we mentioned earlier on, capturing target owners' contact information can be a big challenge. Email addresses can be tricky to really track down without creating a full campaign where you have a capture form, but you're also generating emails from a myriad of sources. So that definitely needs to come into your strategy, how to obtain target owner email addresses. And then from there, you can really set up your CRM so that you can create an automated nurturing campaign where you, have creative communication, where you're nurturing the owners throughout their life cycle until they become one of your clients. So a couple things to think about when you're setting up automation. The question really was, it seems like it was talking about which CRMs we work with. We work with a bunch of different CRMs, and we have experience. I know we've worked with Salesforce. We've worked with Navis's product. We help clients. Sorry, what did you say?
HubSpot.
And a couple others. So we have. Are there any I'm forgetting?
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Mark had
ask us and we can see if we can work with it.
But so we have pretty extensive experience with different CRMs, but we also are happy to help you out through our email software. So that's something to consider. But a couple touch points that you should consider in the owner nurturing campaign is once they fill out, a form or try to download your brochure or reach out with an inquiry, having a really beautiful, compelling message to follow up is a great first touch point. And then throughout the next 2 months is a great opportunity to continue educating these owners and to stay in front of them while they're making these difficult decisions. So creating inspirational emails that talk about your unique sales proposition that really get your brand out in front of them is going to be really helpful over the next couple months. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that once you have that email, to continue nurturing with email marketing campaigns, I usually suggest to clients that if you're doing an owner campaign, think about it quarterly. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Sean, if you have any other thoughts on that, but a quarterly email campaign that's just, clean, simple, it is educational, and really gets your brand out in front of owners is going to be great. And again, this is a great opportunity to get your message out, the right message at the right time in the right place through your owner email marketing. So, and
if you do have, like we talked about earlier, if you do have those owner assets on the site, like obviously the owner landing page, but if you have an owner blog, an owner blog category, mm-hmm. You show them, hook them. You may not get them today, but if you hook them in to your content, you'll ultimately hopefully get them.
And one item I wanted to touch on with the follow-up form. So after someone fills out an inquiry form, reaches out to you for more information, using automation in that step is hugely valuable. Our email platform can do that. So you've got a nice, beautiful templated email that automatically sends to that inquiry the person that filled out the inquiry. So you don't have to worry about, do I have the staff staff available or on hand to respond to this right away. So get that automated touch point. And then, we can even do, after that touch point, based on what they clicked on and what they, maybe you gave them a download or an owner testimonial to watch. If they clicked on that, if they downloaded something, then you can follow up with another email targeted exactly to that action. So there's so much you can do with our platform with automation and segmentation there. So it can be pretty fun.
Yeah. I do feel like that it's important to, like I said, treat these owner leads like you do reservation leads.
Yeah.
So don't totally rely on automation, but have it help you rather than rely on it, I guess. Mm-hmm. And a couple other things. Julia mentioned the get an email list is for prospective owners is tough. There are a couple spots that can work. If you manage the HOA, you may have a list of the full HOA list. Now, is it appropriate? That's your call.
Are you going to make friends?
But at the very least, any HOA collateral, I think, can have a little paragraph that says we manage property. Talk to us if you want us to manage your products or your property. And then the other thing that I think is sometimes overlooked, partly because when owners leave, we sometimes don't want them back. But we do have those owners who have left, and if they are owners we want to have back, maybe it's more of a personal email, hey, how you doing? But it is something that we've got their information, and it may be worth, at the very least, hitting them up when you roll out a new website or win an award, so on and so forth. So saying, hey, we've been missing you. Hope everything's going great for you, but just wanted to keep you updated on what's happening on our side. So
we actually got a few more questions on this, which is great. One question is, what CRMs are people using for new owner leads? And I think it really depends on your company, and looking at, there are so many different options out there, and a lot of it has to do with how much, how much capabilities you need out of your CRM. So we can certainly make suggestions offline once we talk to you a bit more about your specific strategy. But another great question we had was, is our email platform an additional layer to the CRM? And how do you handle the analytics if there are two different platforms? What's great about our particular ESP is that it integrates with quite a few different CRMs out there, and I personally don't have a ton of experience with the integration, but I know our CTO and our director of email, Ryan, has worked really hard on being able to integrate analytics so that you can have that transparency.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And I think our ESP works pretty hard to make it easy.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
It's very true. So the last part we wanted to talk about was kind of the fun stuff and really getting out into the community and networking your company. There's so many opportunities, and we all talk about how to be better at sales, and making those relationships with your owners is really the best way to get in front and to create that long-lasting relationship. So think about different events in your area that you could participate in, that your team can participate in. I know in our valley we have so many different chamber events and local real estate events. In most resort communities, real estate is a huge opportunity to gain new owners and referrals. So really participating in those events will help. Again, Brynn mentioned this on the owner testimonial page, but creating a referral program so that you can use your current network to your advantage and really engage with other owners that are just a second touch away. I think that's a great opportunity, and it's something to consider. I mean, you're essentially you want a great owner. You want to work with a great owner's best friend, because likely they have similar values. They're likely very similar in terms of what they're expecting and those sort of things. So if you can get out in front of your owner's friends, in front of your front of your professional network's friends, that's going to be hugely beneficial. And then also use the MLS to your advantage. I know we have a lot of clients who's able to send to the MLS network and again get your brand out there, and that's a great opportunity to send information about the referral program and just remind realtors. I know on most MLS, anyone who's working within real estate has access to that. So architects, contractors, I mean, it's just hugely beneficial to use your MLS. And then also consider sponsoring community events. I know a lot of you on this are very community oriented. So just thinking about different events that you can participate in, golf tournaments, parades, Christmas tree lightings, anything like that you can help sponsor, and remind people that you're focused on building a trusted community and being a real player in the community. I think is going to be helpful for building your network.
Definitely. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And we just got, this is great, we just got some input from someone out in Oregon, and it's I cannot pay real estate agents a referral fee, as they could be fined or even lose a license. So that's a really good point. Understanding your market, knowing the different laws and regulations on how you can engage with realtors is super important. I'm
definitely very
glad that was just brought up.
and there's other ways. I mean, just creating a partnership. A realtor can send somebody your way because they trust you. You know, that's
because they like your, they've seen your brand out in the community. They know you're a solid part of the community. So
and we just got another suggestion, which is working with local chambers, and it's a great topic, and I maybe didn't hit on it enough, but there's so many opportunities with chambers. I know right here in our area, you can host business after hours where people can tour your office and get to know your team, and you serve cocktails and appetizers, and it's just a really simple way to get your brand out there. You can also host workshops if you want to talk about, the challenges of managing your property on your own or anything like that. There's really great opportunities with your chamber.
Definitely. A lot of our clients get quite a bit of referral traffic from their local chambers. Use that to your advantage and work with that chamber website to see how you could be a spotlight on that site too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that pretty much concludes the workshop. The webinar. If you have any questions, please keep them coming. I just wanted to quickly introduce you to our team. I know we have a lot of clients on here, which is great, but there are some new names, new faces. So we appreciate you being on here. And just a little background on Blue Tent. Our team is really driven to convert for our clients, and we try to create digital experience that motivate travelers and inspire travelers to go to your destination. So that's our major focus. A little background: we do have a web-based platform, an e-commerce platform, ResFusion. It's really the premier platform out there for vacation rental managers. It integrates with the leading property management software. It's PCI compliant, and it's really driven to convert. So driven to convert primarily users to guests, but also, as Brynn showed you, we really try to focus on the owner experience as well. And then here are a couple of our services. We have a strategy team, we have a design team, technology, marketing. So pretty much the full spectrum of marketing is across our team. And then here are just a couple numbers to sum up. We've got 50 people on our team. We're in 80 amazing travel destinations, and we're working in 8 different countries right now. So it's a great team, and we really love working with clients across the country, and so I hope you consider us next time. But I think that's about it. If you don't have any questions, I think we can let you go. But thanks again for your time. Again, we'll have an upcoming webinar in October, so keep an eye out. We definitely have one at the end of October that's focused on social media, so we'll keep you posted. But thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank
you all so much, and thanks, Sean and Brynn. That's great.
Of course.
All right, take care.